to Rants and Big Pants. I am Neens and...
I'm DB.
Yes, she is indeed. And this week we wanted to talk about the very controversial Leaving Neverland, which is all about the allegations of sex abuse with regards to Michael Jackson. Everybody is talking about it.
They are indeed.
I have now watched probably 2/3 of episode 1. However, you have absolutely binged on it today.
Yeah, I did. I watched both episodes today.
Okay, so you're probably best to start this. So,
well, I think it's important to say that we, as Michael Jackson music fans, we come at this as quite, like most things, opposites. I have liked several of Michael Jackson's songs over the years. I would never have described myself as a fan by any means, whereas you would.
I am a real...
You are a hardcore kind of fan.
I am a hardcore
music
fan.
Tones.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's a musical genius. I still think he is a musical genius. Did I believe, or do I believe, that he is innocent? Yes, I do. However, I have not watched both of the documentaries. I am 2/3 of the way through the first one. So I would have quite easily have said, yes, he is absolutely innocent before watching the documentary.
Because I am not and have never been a die-hard fan, and you would describe yourself as a fan, I am able to separate the two. So there is the man who produces the music, and then there is the man who was the person. And one of the things that we were discussing prior to watching it was whether we believed that this whole programme and the impact that it has will have an effect on people who may choose to play his music at parties. Now, I went into watching the documentaries today with my mind very much set on the fact that I believed, as I did at the time, him to be guilty of the allegations that were pushed against him. That opinion hasn't changed. If anything, I think it's probably a bit stronger. I found it really, really uncomfortable to view, not just as a human being, but more so now as a mother, and as a mother of two boys.
Yeah.
What I couldn't get my head round previous to watching it, and having now seen it, is the role that the parents played in this. That one parent in particular obviously wanted her child to be a star, and by her own admission was very much caught up in that. Michael Jackson was going to help him, Michael Jackson was going to do this, they were taken on tours, they had this great life. You can understand how people get caught up in it. However, as a mum, I cannot understand anybody who would allow their child, who was actually 7 at the time, to share a room or space, bed, with a man who was in his 30s that they barely knew.
Okay, let me ask a question. Did they at that time, or had Michael Jackson at that time, had he had any allegations about him previous?
No.
Right, okay.
No, none at all.
So as far as they were concerned, Michael Jackson came in to their family, he got to know them, they all became really friendly, you know.
He was very much part of the family, both families.
Absolutely, and I do get that. However, again, as a mother with a child, I don't understand why you would let somebody of that age share a room with your child. I don't get that. And I have seen the part where the mother says, you know, our room just got further and further away with each hotel stay. You know, I did think, you know, that wasn't right and I want a room closer, but actually you didn't really do anything about it. Even if you say, sorry, Michael, you know, we're on the top floor and you're on the middle floor, we will be having our child in to sleep with us tonight.
I think we had a quick discussion prior to starting to film, and that was based around grooming. And that's a term that even 6-7 years ago wasn't really in the public domain.
No.
Agreed? And that is what, in the first instance, he was guilty of. He not only groomed the children, but he groomed their families and presented them with this wonderful life that made it almost cruel to take it away from their child by dragging him away from Michael Jackson's life. And we see child abuse in a sexual way is very black and white, and that's what it is. But this was very much grooming the whole family. There was an absolutely cast iron seduction of this family unit. And one of the boys tells of when his parents were going through a bad phase in their marriage, how Michael Jackson would say to him, God, you know, your mum's a bitch.
Yeah.
And then kind of starts turning the tables. So this child starts leaning more and more on the friendship that he has with Michael Jackson. I do not believe that in a home like you saw within Neverland, that there were not plentiful staff. I do not believe that somebody didn't know. So much so that when it came to the court case, and I think that was 2005, one of Michael Jackson's maids, I think it was, said that she had witnessed Michael Jackson and Wayne in the shower together. And that is something that he details in the programme, but that he'd always previously denied. Now,
Wade had denied, or Michael Jackson had denied? Or
Wade had always denied.
Okay.
Wade had always denied, and so had James, that there had been any inappropriate behaviour at all.
For what reason had they denied that? Fear?
They both say the same thing, and this is where the whole seduction grooming thing really kind of kicked in for me. That they both maintained that up until much later in life, that they still very much loved Michael Jackson and didn't want to see him be hurt in any way.
See, and
didn't want, but then he would twist their mind and say, you know, if anybody found out about us, we'd both go to prison.
But as much as you love that person, because actually when you're that young, you are impressionable, you know, you are led by example, especially from an adult, but there's got to be an element of hate now, is there?
I personally...
If that had happened to you...
I personally don't think that either of those men came across as hateful. But I would stick in a little pause button here. I don't think either of those men, during that interview, are of a sound mind.
Because of everything they've been through.
Yeah. And especially James Safechuck, he's really uncomfortable in his body, and you can really see it. And I'm not saying that he hasn't moved on with his life, because he's got a family and a wife, and evidently he's got a great job. But he has this real uncomfortableness in his skin, and I think it's really visual to see.
Yeah, but also, given the subject that he's talking about, that could be very uncomfortable.
Oh no, absolutely.
I always believed that Michael Jackson was the way he was because he'd never ever had a proper childhood. He was literally thrown into the spotlight. So I believe that he had children around him, etc., because maybe I'm naive, yeah, and I tend to believe people, and I believe what they say. So if he's sitting there saying I'm innocent, well, fair play, Michael, I believe you. But then now these guys are saying I'm abused. Well, yeah, okay, I tend to believe you. It's not, I don't think anybody could make up a story like those two men are doing and keep going with it.
It's a bit of a kangaroo court here tonight, because I've seen it all. I haven't changed my opinion.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that Michael Jackson was guilty of the allegations from James and Wade in the programme, and the previous boys that claimed, and then it was settled out of court.
I believed Michael Jackson was innocent. I kind of want to watch the rest, but I don't, because I found it a really hard watch, and if they're telling the truth, then Ooh, yeah.
Will it change how you listen to that music? Because this is a bit I can never get my head round.
And I understand why you say will it change, because actually if a song came on the radio, I'd go, oh my God, Michael Jackson, I love this song. Oh God, I'm not sure actually that's good to say that anymore, because...
But it wouldn't bother me because I don't associate the two together.
Oh no, I do. Yeah, I
and
do.
yet I think he's guilty as charged.
Yeah, I don't... It would be like watching episodes of bloody Jim Will Fix It. They wouldn't put reruns of Jim Will Fix It on, would they?
No.
So are they going to play Michael Jackson's music?
I guess that is dependent on lots of different factors. I think the reason why they wouldn't put Jim Will Fix It back on any reruns, should I say, is because there was quite a lot of, in the press at the time that it all kind of came out, that the BBC, who was his employer, knew about his activities. So I think that that's why it wouldn't be shown. But we did have a conversation, and this is really for ladies of a certain age, i.e. ours. When we were much, much younger, Bill Wyman from the Stones
Yes.
had
I wonder where this is going.
an affair that did actually end in marriage.
Yes, it did.
With Mandy Smith.
Yes.
And Mandy Smith was 13 when they started that relationship. So here's the funny thing. I do not remember anybody talking about it being morally wrong.
Oh, I do.
No, see, I don't.
Oh, I do.
don't.
I remember people saying it was wrong. I remember people going, why the hell would a man like that want to be with a 13-year-old? And even as a... I mean, how old would we have been then?
I think we were more or less the same age.
Yeah, so I remember looking at that thing and, oh my God, you disgusting man. Yeah.
But I think it changed because he married her.
Yes, I think you're probably right.
What on earth would she see in him?
But is that because then... So Michael Jackson, you know...
And did he groom her or did she like his fame? Who knows?
Well, you see, that's the thing. I think, yeah, Michael Jackson is more to do with the grooming side, isn't it? And then that child thinks it's actually okay for that to happen.
Do we find it more unpalatable because the allegations against him are with boys?
I don't know. I don't...
Or is it just that we've got our eyes open now?
Or is it because Mandy Smith at the time was a bit maybe of a...
Bit of a wild
bit
child.
of an it girl,
Yeah.
and literally she did look older.
Oh, absolutely.
And got him a Bill Wyman, and actually, yeah, that was okay. It wasn't okay, but yeah, he didn't get done for it.
No.
Thankfully, touch wood, I've not been a victim of abuse, but I know people that have, and I've spoken to people and who have said, I can't actually discuss it. It's far too close to home. The patterns, the stories, the situations, the grooming, it's all so similar to what they went through. And I just think, well, you know, that's people that are close to me that have said that. So if they're saying that, I tend to think it's got to be true.
You're not going to get an argument from me. I think he's as guilty as damned.
I would like to think that he is innocent. He's not here to defend himself. But I don't think two people can make up stories like that, especially when there's been allegations before. But then I suppose if there was allegations before, it's easy to make stories up like that to get money.
I think it's an either or. You either believe that that's something he was capable of doing, or you don't.
Well, you see, I didn't believe he was capable of doing that, but having watched those people's stories, yes, I do. So there you go. There's our take on the whole Michael Jackson Leaving Neverland scenario. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye now.